Hello everyone and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pignole and today we're going to do a full class centered around core awareness. I think we get a lot of messaging around the core that it's got to be strong, and if we have a strong core we're good. But we also need to have a core that is flexible and supple and usable so it keeps us supported and we can be agile and move in whatever ways we need to move. That's the way to keep us most safe and injury-free. So that's what we're going to work on today, and just having that awareness of what is the situation in our core and how can we create a core that's more all of those things: strong, supple, flexible, usable. All right, so I'm so aware of this core is holding me up right now. We're going to do a little bit of mindfulness, so we'll just find our easy seated pose, that pose that is going to work for you to be able to feel free, not holding on to tension in a posture that you have to try hard to maintain. So allowing, if you need to sit on a blanket or a block or something a little bit higher so that your legs can just settle and relax. Yeah, your hip, pelvis can be neutral. You can lift that spine just vertically out of there as opposed to trying to come around from a rounded lower back. And bringing that awareness, and every time we lift our spine, we're bringing in those core muscles for support and tone. And as we lift, we're not yanking and pulling and straining, we're just activating. Yeah. Letting the belly be soft while we allow our body to breathe deeply. Yeah, and as we just find that position, then we can become more quiet and still with the body and with the mind. Your eyes can be open or closed, whatever's most comfortable. And with these next few breath cycles, allow your breath to expand and fill that whole chest cavity, and see if you can feel the front and sides and back expanding with the breath. Yeah. All right, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I think also when we think about core, we just focus mostly on the front. But really, we need to have a balance between the abs and the back and the sides. So we'll be working all those directions. And first, we're going to do a little bit of loosening up, warming up with all those directions. So find your sit bones. Grow your spine nice and tall, reaching up from the crown. And then we're going to walk that forward. And you can take your time, just lengthen, wiggle, find your edge. Keep the sit bones down. And just notice where it's tight. Notice where there is resistance. All right, let's walk ourselves back up. We'll come off to the left side, reach up with the right arm, and find a side bend here. We're just getting started, so nothing has to be really forced or strong. Just explore what's that range. See if you can get things to start to loosen up and open up. Nice, and then let's lift up. We'll take our hands behind. Again, plug in the sit bones, reach, and we're gonna open up the front body. So grow that spine, give yourself a lot of space. Yeah, feel the belly lengthen. Lift the sternum, lift the chin. Yeah, bring it back. We'll take the right hand off, lift that left arm up, or off the hip, I mean. Yeah, and just come into a side bend here. Feeling from that pelvis, up that side body, the rib cage, the shoulder, whatever is available for opening. Yes, okay, bring that back up. So whatever your legs are, whatever position your legs are in right now, just switch legs so that it's the opposite leg on top. And try and make it symmetrical, but it probably won't be, I predict. Might be. Okay, we're gonna do that same thing just with our opposite legs on top. So grow the spine again, reach up, and then walk it forward. Do you notice anything different? Keeping the sit bones down, lengthening. Any amount is lovely. Take what we can get. Nice. This time we'll take the right hand off the right hip, lift that left arm up. We'll side bend over to the right. Yes. Reach that hip away. And bring that back up. Hands behind. Grow, open the belly, open the collarbones. You can feel the back is contracting as I'm doing this. Yes. All right, bring that back up. Left hand comes off the hip, right arm reaches up. Side bend to the left. Trying to keep that in the same plane as you explore. Where can you open? Okay, so we're going to take our arms in goalpost, cactus, elbows about shoulder height, about in the same plane as the shoulders. Yeah. And then we're just going to come forward and come around to the side. So we're making a big circle or a little circle, depending on what you are available for. And then notice all those support muscles coming into play. Notice any places that aren't as strong and supportive as you would like. That's okay, we're just becoming aware. All right, let's switch directions. Side, front, side, back. Your own speed. I feel some lack of support. Mindfully exploring this range. Nice. All right, bring that back up. All right, we're going to come down into a child's pose. Check in with your breath, check in with your body, check in with your core. What do you notice? It's a nice place to set an intention if that's part of your practice. All right, let's come on up to all fours. So we're going to find our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulders. The fingers are spread wide, palm is lifted slightly. And then let's just explore that neutral alignment and feel how that engages the core. So tilt your pelvis forward and back. And then see if you can find that nice middle zone. And then follow that spine as it reaches forward. And let's come to the shoulders and drop down in between the shoulder blades. And then lift up higher than the shoulder blades. Just come back and forth. And then see if you can find that nice center point where you can feel the shoulder blades are sort of anchored on your back. And then from your pelvis to your shoulder blades, as you lengthen, bring the belly in a little towards the spine. So now all of that is set up, reaching forward with the crown. And anchoring into that awareness of this feels neutral and engaged and supported. Yes. All right, now we're going to move into a cat and cow. So sometimes I start with the pelvis, sometimes I start with the rib cage. Let's start with the rib cage this time. And I like to, it's gruesome, but I imagine that there is a rope, a nice big fat rope that runs through my sternum, and it has a knot on each side. And as I pull the rope up towards the ceiling, I lift the sternum. Yeah. And then I tilt the pelvis. I bring the crown of the head down. And I bring that belly up, really arching. Yes, feel all that engagement. I push my hands down into the mat. And then I'm going to reverse that. So now I'm going to bring that rope down towards the mat. It takes my sternum down, pulls the belly away from the pelvis. I can lift the head. Yeah, so really feel that lengthening. And then all those little muscles that are working to create this shape. All right, let's take ourselves through a couple more rounds. You can do it in your own timing. You can just use the breath, or you can take your time, really feeling into all the parts. Yeah. Feel the belly contract on the cow or the cat, and the back can contract on the cow. That's hard to say. All right, whenever you're ready, when you're finished with your round, we're going to meet back up at a neutral spine. Remind yourself what that feels like. And then we're going to take the rib cage up towards the ceiling again. We'll take the ribs to the right side, down towards the mat, and over to the left and back up again. And then see if you can sort of smooth that out. And maybe you're just sort of isolating the rib cage, or maybe you're going to bring the whole spine in all the way to the tailbone, all the way to the crown of the head. Yeah. All right, come back to neutral. And then we'll simply reverse that. So we'll take the rib cage up towards the ceiling, take it over to the opposite side, belly. Right side ceiling, and then smooth it out. Decide how much of the spine you're going to include here. I like to imagine a jump rope. I'm making a jump rope with my spine. Yes. All right, back to neutral. Let's just sit back and we'll give our hands, wrists a little bit of love. So bring the heels of the hands together and we'll come around to the outside of the wrist. Just rotate that around a few times. And reverse. Nice. All right, let's work our way into a standing position. Why don't we find a down dog? Just a nice easy one as a transition. Walk the feet to the hands, forward fold as you work your way in. Nice. And then just really bring your awareness to this whole part of your body as you roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Stacking, mindful. Okay, let's come with our feet a little bit wider than hip width, maybe shoulder width apart. We're just gonna do some nice, easy twisting. But I want you to bring your awareness to that center line. Imagine there's a little plumb line or a pole running through your spine all the way vertically down into the ground. And then as you twist, you're just gonna try and orient. You know, it's not gonna be perfect. We never need perfection in yoga. Just give yourself that anchoring point. Actually, I'm going to step my feet a little bit closer. I don't like them that far. You can do the same. Reaching up with the crown, letting that whole spine twist. What do you notice in your belly and your sides and your back? Nice. Okay, we're going to find our Tadasana, our standing mountain pose. I return to it often because I feel like, well, it's just such an important foundational element. And for the core, I mean, we stand a lot. And if we don't have a nice, balanced, engaged core, we can be pulling ourselves in very many strange ways. If my belly is weak, if my back is weak, I was going to say at the sides, but whatever. Okay, so let's just return to that position. Find the feet underneath the hips. Find that nice neutral pelvis. Lift up with the spine. Open the collarbones. Bring the shoulders down. Rib cage in. Yes, breathe a couple breaths here. Not rigid, just engaged. Yeah, what do you notice? My belly's turned on a little bit. My sides are working as I lift. My back is really beautifully supporting. Yeah. All right, let's release that. Let's widen the feet a little bit. Bring the toes out. We're going to reach our arms up overhead. So keeping in mind this alignment that we just went through, we're going to grab opposite elbows. And as you move the elbows in alignment with your shoulders, that's going to probably throw some things off. So get that realigned. Yeah, and imagine I'm just gently lifting those forearms up towards the ceiling without bringing the shoulders. Yeah, it just lengthens the whole body. Nice. And then I'm going to turn and face over my left toes. I'm going to reach and grow, and then I'm going to fold 90 degrees or whatever you can do. Reaching the arms out again. Reaching the hips back. Feeling the length. Feeling this core engagement like we did when we were in all fours. Beautiful. Right, let's lift that up nice and strong. We're going to just do a little back bend over that right heel. Yes, bring it back up, back to center. We're going to switch over to the right toes. Get that alignment. Find your center line, and then we just reach out. If this is really too extreme, just take your hands to your hips as you fold. Reach, engage, belly. Yes, lengthen as you lift. Every time you lengthen, you strengthen. Ooh, I like that. And then we'll come into a little back bend. Back up to center. Let's bring that all forward. ground into those legs. Reach the hips away from the arms. And then let's inhale, bring ourselves up super tall. A little back bend. Nice, reach up, release the arms. Wiggle if you need to wiggle. Okay, let's find our legs about a leg length apart. Gonna work with our triangle pose. So feet start out parallel. I like this as a starting point because we can really find the center, grow the legs, feel that support of the feet, find the spinal alignment. You can even reach the arms out here, opposite directions. Let's take the right toes to the opposite wall, bring the left toes forward a little bit. So none of this really had to change much as I moved my feet. It's a two-dimensional pose, so I'm really going to try and stay in the same plane. I'm going to take my left hand to my hips and reach the right forward. I'm lengthening my side body. And I'm coming down to my hand to the leg or to a block or to the mat, depending on your flexibility. So as I ground into these legs and I open up, I'm going to lengthen my spine. Yeah, and just feel there's stuff happening. Nice. You can stay here. You can reach this left arm up, trying to get it in the same plane as that right arm. And if you're feeling good and strong in your core, we can reach this arm over. We can reach this arm out. Yes, what do you notice? Oh, yeah. Lengthen. Beautiful. Release. Let that bring you back up. Feet back to parallel. You need to wiggle, wiggle. Okay, so return to your position. Feel all of this. Yes, it's so simple and subtle and so impactful, this core stuff that we're doing, this awareness. Okay, let's take the left toes to that opposite wall. Right toes come forward. This is all still engaged, facing to the side. Right hand to hip, left hand reaches out. Yes, I'm lengthening, lengthening. I'm looking at the camera, which is really helping me stay turned instead of going like this. And then hand to leg or block or mat. And then let's really lengthen that spine. Open to the side. Open the shoulders. Yeah, and then lift up with that arm if you choose. What do you notice here? And if you want, you can bring that arm overhead, palm down. Bring this arm out, palm up. Reach and grow. Is that working for you? Lengthen. Yes, beautiful, everybody. Bring that back up. Let's bring those feet back parallel. We're going to bring the heels in. So if coming down to this position makes your knees go past your ankles, then widen your stance. I'm going to do that. Find your neutral here. And then just lower down. All we're doing is just dropping down to the center. We're not pushing the butt back. We're not pushing the upper body forward. Just lowering all that down towards the mat, whatever amount. It can be this much, it can be this much. Whatever's authentic for your body right now. Beautiful. Okay, so engaging, growing. Let's take our arms in cactus pose again. Move the elbows back towards the wall behind you. So we can scooch those shoulder blades on the wall, on the back. Yeah, without throwing your center alignment off balance. Nice. And then we're just gonna do a little side bending here. So this time I'm gonna contract. I'm gonna really use this side body to bring my elbow down. Yeah. Use the other side to bring you up. Over to the right. Yes, let's do one more each side. Really don't, what I'm aware is my knees are wanting to go forward. So try and keep those knees back. Keep that alignment with the center channel. All right, bending over to the left. Contracting. Yes, bringing back up. I'm aware of all sides really are being called upon. Over to the right. Nice, everybody. Come on up, release. Walk your feet in or hop your feet in, whatever feels best to your body. All right, we're going to come down into a child's pose. And just check in. What does your core feel like? What do you notice? All right, but we're going to come onto our backs. Nice. Let's just take a shavasana here. Just let everything let go. All right, let's bring the knees bent, feet to the mat. Take your hands, the heels of your hands into the tops of your femurs and just push away a little. Nice. All right, so we're going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. And just really pay attention to, as you lift that lower back off the mat, notice the condition of your back, and the same as you tilt the pelvis the opposite direction, bringing that back down to the mat. Notice your belly. Just take that forward and back a few times. Maybe you can lift the tailbone off the mat a little tiny bit here. And then maybe you can lift the lower back off the mat a little more. Back and forth. Feeling that strength. And flexibility. Beautiful. All right, let's come to a neutral position. And then as we press our feet are about hip width apart. And as we press our feet down into the mat, we're just going to lift the pelvis a little bit. So just a couple inches off the mat. What I want you to pay attention to is right here, as you lift, feel that engage. Because you're going to need it, because we're going to march in place. And so slowly, mindfully, keeping the hips in the same position, just noticing all the little parts that are being called on. Feeling that support here, and feeling the support as you lift. Excellent. All right, let's lower those hips. We're going to lengthen the legs. So let's flex the heels. Got that, our legs are all engaged. Find that pelvis. Feel how this is engaged as you bring it into a neutral position. I already feel this is happening as well. All right, then we're going to just lift and hover one leg, keeping the hip or the pelvis and the hip bones balanced. And lower. Find out where that strength is coming from. You're going to feel it in your thighs and your hip flexors, but where else? And I want you to feel it more up here. Lift and lower. So lengthening the legs and the spine gives you extra support. So as you lift and lower slowly and mindfully, you can tune into where in your body are you needing to engage. And as you endeavor to keep all of this pelvis stable, you'll notice what what else needs to be used. Okay, let's do that a couple more times each side. It's a simple little movement, but when you take it slowly and mindfully, you notice all the players. All right, release the legs. Let's hug them in. Let's give a good little squeeze. Pull the knees in towards the chest. You can even wiggle that out. And let's bring up the nose to the knees and really feel that whole front body contract. Feel the back body lengthen. Yes. Bring the feet back down to the mat. We're going to come into bridge pose. We're going to just go back and forth between those. So in the bridge pose position, tuck those shoulder blades under. Really plant the feet, plant the hands and arms and shoulder blades, and we'll just lift up the pelvis. And just keep lifting, whatever you can do, lifting up from the hips, lifting up from the heart, lengthening the knees away. Yeah, and then lower that mindfully back down to the mat. Let's draw the knees in and the nose to the knees. Let's release that one more time. Set up your bridge, feel that support. Notice what's happening with each little adjustment, movement, extension. Yes, lower, squeeze. All right, let's take our hands behind the knees and we're gonna rock ourselves forward and back. See if you can really round the back so there aren't any little flat tire spots. Might take a couple times. Nice. All right, we're gonna come all the way over. Find all fours first. Remind yourself of a neutral spine. What is needed? Wrists are underneath your shoulders. Gonna root into that. If this is not working, you can come into fists, keeping the thumbs out. Yes. We're gonna come onto our forearms, but you can always do that first if you can't be on your arms in that way. We're gonna curl the toes under and find a plank pose. So imagine that you're standing on those feet, grounding the legs, neutral pelvis, tall spine. Yeah, bring that belly back up. Try and have a nice long line between the heels, knees, hips, shoulders, head. And if you want, you can lift one leg slowly. Notice if you've got the support. If you don't do it. Or if you do, if you don't have enough, just lift a tiny bit and play with, again, what is called on as we lift. Trying to keep all of that support so we don't throw anything out of whack. Just back and forth if you've got it. Nice. All right, let's drop the knees. We'll come down into the forearms. This is an option. But if you've got a plank in you, let's do the plank. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders. My shoulders are nice and engaged. My core is engaged. I can have my feet about hip width apart. And then again, if you've got a little lift, go ahead. But really, really make sure that you, especially here, that you have that core support. Where do you notice the gaps? All right, finish your side. Drop the knees. Just reach the hips back. Lengthen every part of the core. Yeah, let's come onto the belly. Let's just rest your forehead on your hands. Wiggle out your hips. And just let everything soften. Nice. All right, let's bring the arms out to cactus pose. We're going to rest on our left cheek. Take the right knee out to the side and forward. Just a little restorative bit. What do you notice? All right, we're going to take our elbows underneath our shoulders. Curl the left toes under, lift the hips. Find that little low plank position as we sweep that knee over to the opposite side. So this leg is still engaged. You can stay here if you like and lengthen. Find that twist from here, or you can come down to your chest, arms in cactus pose again. Rest on your right cheek, or for a little more twist, you can rest on your left cheek. All right, lift up, elbows come back under. Lift the hips. Bring your legs back to meet each other. Lower down onto the belly. And we're going to slide that left knee out to the side. Rest on your right cheek. All right, we'll take those elbows under the shoulders. Curl the right toes under. Find that little low plank strength. We're going to slide that left knee over to the right. Stay here and lengthen if you like, or come down onto the chest, arms in goalpost. Resting on the left cheek or turning to the right cheek for a little more spiral. Bring that back out. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Find your low plank. Come on back down. Let's reach the arms long. And wiggle again. From here, running into the wall. From here, we're going to lengthen those toes away from the hips. And then just lift one leg at a time. Is as far that way as you can and as far up as you can. But really tuning into where's that support coming from. Yeah, keeping the pelvis down. You can go back and forth a few times. Nice. All right, let's take the arms by the sides, palms facing the thighs. Let's roll the shoulders down and back. And then we're just going to lift the legs and lift the upper body. See if you can feel that contraction all the way up, shoulder blades reaching towards each other. And then lower, just rest on one cheek, let the shoulders slump to the mat. Release. All right, well, we're going to set that all up again. Find the shoulder blades, reach those fingertips away from the shoulders, lift the legs, reach them away from the hips. Lifting whatever you've got. And then lower. Rest on the opposite cheek. Beautiful. Nice work. Hands under shoulders. Let's just come into a little child's pose here. Rounding the back. Lengthening. Okay, let's come on to our backs. Again. Yeah, feet are hip width apart. Let's reach the arms overhead. Get your length. And what do you notice now as you lengthen the upper body? Is there any fatigue? Is there any tension? Is there a little hum of muscles that have been working? There shouldn't be any pain. Nice. All right, release the arms. So we're going to take the arms by the sides, palms up towards the ceiling. Reach the shoulders down and back. Bring the legs together, point the toes, tilt the pelvis so the lower back is coming down. Kind of taking all that we've done so far. We're just going to find a little low boat, a little low scoop hold. Yeah, reach those fingertips away from the shoulders. Keep this pelvis tilted. Yes, lower back. Reach arms up over, flex the heels. Lengthen the front body. All right, arms down by the sides. Tilt the pelvis. Shoulder blades down and away from the ears. Bring the chin to the chest. I forgot to mention that. If you feel the neck is feeling strained, really set those shoulders. Squeeze the legs, reach. Breathe. Keep that tucked, tailbone tucked under. Yes, nice, lower. Reach yourself along again. Soften the belly. All right, we're going to just do one more round. Arms by your sides, really set those shoulder blades on the back. Reach them away, reach the shoulders away from the ears. Tilt the pelvis, really tuck that tailbone under, bring that lower back down to the mat. Legs together, point the toes. Lift the upper body, lift the legs, or just lift part, whatever you can do. Try and keep this little bow shape. Breathing, squeezing, lower. Nice, everybody. Lengthen. All right, let's bring the feet mat width apart. And you can take your arms over your head. You could bring them out to the sides in cactus or reaching out. And we'll bring the knees side to side. And then just land on one side. Let the knees fall where they may. If you want to take that opposite ankle on top of the top knee, to help deepen that twist, go ahead. And all we're doing now is just softening and letting go. Your core muscles have been on duty, and now we're going to let them just release, relax. All right, lift that ankle off the knee if it's been there. We'll bring the knees back up and shift over to the other side. Put the opposite ankle on top of the knee if that works. Yeah, just feel the joy of that letting go. Nice. All right, release that. Let's hug the knees in, and then we're going to hug them wide. So wiggle out the pelvis. All right, we'll come into happy baby. So reaching to the outside edges of the feet. Shins are vertical. Yeah, what do you notice? Any tension, you can rock it side to side, get a little massage on the back. Just working those shoulder blades down into the mat, the lower back down into the mat. And then let's take the bottoms of the feet together, and we're going to lower that down to the mat. So you can decide how close to the groin your feet are going to be. Let the knees fall with gravity. And then let that upper body just release. You can reach over, grab opposite elbow. Yes, very nice release. Okay, release your arms. Let's bring the knees up and then just take, I don't know, maybe a minute of some free yoga. Just what is your body looking for? What kind of shapes did it not get to make today that it really could use? They can be known yoga poses, or you can just make them up as you listen to your body. Build that relationship. And then whenever you are ready, we're going to find our Shavasana moment. Find a position again where you can just simply let go. So maybe the knees are bent in together. Maybe you have a bolster or a blanket behind your knees and they're lengthening. The legs are lengthening. Or maybe just flat out. Find that position where you don't have to do anything to be comfortable. Just start that process, witness that process of letting go. Your whole body is integrating. Giving it this time and space to do so. Just be quiet for a little while longer. With these next few breath cycles, just check in with your core. What do you notice? How does it feel? Maybe give a little love and thanks for all it does. Front, back, side, side. Nice. And then you can start to introduce some movement. Whenever you're ready, you can roll to your right side. Just rest your head on your upper arm and curl those knees in a little. One more letting go breath. And then find your seated position. Yeah, what does that feel like? As you grow your spine, find your alignment. Eyes closed if that's comfortable. So you can really keep that inward focus. How's your body? How's your mood? Of what are you aware? Is there anything to celebrate or anything you want to take with you into your day? Let's just take one more full breath into that whole being. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. I wish you a very fully supported day. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and becoming a member of our community. I would love that. Otherwise, I wish you a really wonderful day.